I'm so excited to introduce you to my next guest because she is truly a friend. And I know a lot of people throw that term around loosely, but no, she is a friend of mine. And not just a friend, but she's actually a business bestie of mine. And I know a lot of people are like cringe at the word bestie, but I don't know how best to describe it other than that. She and I and Kamisha, one of our other speakers, we have an ongoing Voxer chat that's just always going. And every week one of us reaches out and we're here to support each other. So I'm excited for you to get to know her today and get to learn all about her. So let me introduce my friend Tracy Beavers. She has more than 20 years experience in sales and marketing. She's a business and sales coach who enjoys helping small business owners scale to their next level with a clear roadmap of success. As the owner of 3 businesses, she understands the roller coaster of entrepreneurship. She loves sales, she loves networking, and she wants you to love it too. Thanks for being here, Tracy.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. And I am thrilled to be a true friend of yours. Absolutely. I do appreciate everything that you and Kamisha do for me to build me up as a business owner.
Yeah, I don't know how I would be going through week by week without you. I really
Well,
don't.
I feel the same way. And I feel sorry for anybody who's trying to go it alone as an entrepreneur, because it is hard and it's lonely. And then, gosh, yes, we need success partners, business besties, people to cheer us on for sure.
Most definitely. So to help our audience get to know you a little bit better, I want to start at the very beginning. What was the very first business you ever started?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I remember my first experience in sales was when I was young. I have an older sister and an older brother, 6 years older and 4 years older. And we were all in the band, always in the band, junior high and high school. And one of the fundraisers they always had every year was band candy. And it was this really good brand of, I think it was like bikes or something. I can't remember. But you had to go sell. You got a certain stash. You had to go sell. That was your commitment. Well, neither one of them wanted to sell their band candy. So I loaded it all up in my wagon and took it all over the neighborhood back when you could do things like that when you were a little kid, and sold all the candy. And I thought it was amazing. Of course, that was kind of an easy sell because I was cute and it was candy. But that was my first opportunity in sales. I'm like, oh, I kind of like this, and Girl Scout cookies and all kinds of stuff like that. But first business I ever built. So actually it was 2000, I want to say 2003. It was a network marketing business, skincare business. And I was in that for a couple of years. And no, maybe that was 2005. Anyway, a couple of years later, I found myself going through a divorce, and it wasn't something I could sustain at the time. So that kind of folded. But that was my first business I ever built.
I love network marketing as a first business. It's
a good one.
It is a really good one. You learn so much if you really dive into it and take ownership of it.
The investment is, generally minimal, as you know. And so it's a good way for somebody to stick their toe in being an entrepreneur without a lot of overhead and inventory and stuff like that, depending on what company they go with.
Right. Yes.
But yeah, that was my first one in 2005. And then, a friend of mine also, before that, gosh, I'm forgetting all this stuff. Before the divorce and all that, a friend of mine and I represented a purse company out of Hawaii. And we didn't make a lot of money, but we had a ton of fun. And we had in her garage shelves of our inventory.
Oh, wow.
And we would take it to holiday market, and we would have parties in people's homes. And we were lugging purses all over the place. And we made some money, but anyway, we had more fun and we learned more than we made on That was an experience.
Well, at least you learned something from it, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
So what does the transition from network marketing as your first entry into business ownership to business coach, what does that transition look like for you?
Yeah, so it's been interesting. So when I went through the divorce, I needed to get some benefits. I needed to get regular pay. So I went back into corporate America, so that I could get, health benefits and all that for the kids and have that steady paycheck coming in. And so I had to sort of lay the entrepreneurial things aside, because they were really little back then too. So fast forward, let me think, 6 or 7 more years. So 6 years ago from now, not really good with math. I'm a great business owner. Math is hard.
Nobody's going to hold you to it if you're
I hope not. So it's like, I swear I'm a highly educated woman. So 6 years ago, I decided to start back into the entrepreneurial pool, and while in corporate America, and joined a network marketing company, a skincare company, not the same one, a different one. So I dipped my toe back in that way, and then kept working in corporate. And the reason why I started it was because I was looking for a way out of the 9 to 5. But fast forward to now, through the course of working that business and through the course of what I was doing in my job, which was business development and basically helping that company build. I mean, I gained that company 86% market share in the first year I was there. Wow. So I was I had a lot of corporate experience, building portfolios, running businesses basically without having to own it. And so, fast forward to now, with what I realized through all of that was I loved helping people build their dream. And the part of the network marketing company that I loved the most was helping other people build their businesses. And so I thought, and some good friends of mine, they were like, why aren't you a coach? And I was like, I don't even know what that is. What is that a thing? And, because here where we are in Arkansas, it was slower to catch on than in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that people were talking about a lot, or at least I hadn't heard about it a lot. And so I thought, okay, well, let me take a look at this. And here we are, 3 years later, business and sales coach. And I help a lot of people on a national level. I don't have any global clients yet, but I have people on a national level that I help build their businesses. And it is fantastic. I love it.
It's so much fun. It's so much fun to help somebody take that idea, take that dream, and help them put things in place that strategically get them there, right? It's not just like, well, let's try this, let's try that, let's go watch this YouTube video, let's go take this little bitty thing. It's like, no, let's do step 1, step 2, step 3. And it's so much fun to watch them like, it worked. Like,
right. Right. It's like, holy cow, it actually worked. I'm like, well, you're welcome.
Right.
Yeah, but that step by step is really key. It's key for me when I have a coach, and I'll never be without a coach again. I need step by step. I need a roadmap, and that's what I do for my clients, because and you and I talk about this a lot. When you're in it, it's so hard to see where you need to go, right, or what the best decision is, or there are things you're forgetting about. There's holes in your strategy. And so what's nice about having you and Kamisha and my business coach is that I can throw the spaghetti at the wall and go, okay, guys, what do you think? And you can say, that's great. That's not great. Here's how to make it great. Or that's got a huge hole in it. Have you thought about X, Y, and Z? And before I go out and execute a strategy that may cost me a lot of time, possibly some money, to execute, and I end up missing the mark. So yeah.
I think one of the other benefits that I know I've received by having invested in myself, by hiring a coach, by having those people who are on the same path with me, around me often, is when my language gets off a little bit, and it's not pulling me forward. I love it when they call me on it. It may not feel good in the moment, right? Like, they're like, are you sure that's how you want to say that? Like, and I'm not talking about marketing language. I'm talking about like our inner game here that's happening, and we start, saying some things that are limiting, and to have people around you that you've given permission to speak into you and to call you on it, to say, hey, let's explore that a little bit together.
Right.
And why are you saying it that way? Why are you thinking that way?
Yeah. Did you
This
just
is
hear what you just said?
Yeah, right. Did you hear how you said that? Are you sure that's how you really feel? It might be how you really feel. Let's fix that.
For sure. Yep. That mindset's a huge factor in success, for sure.
Yeah. And one of the things that I want to draw out from your story is how you've taken what you did in corporate and what you learned along the way in your other network marketing businesses, and you have folded that all in to your current coaching practice.
Yes.
And I think that's so important. We can go out and we can get training, and I think that it's like detrimental if you think you know it all and don't need any more training. I will always be continuously improving, right? Continuously take this course or that one and get this coach, and there will always be forward momentum there. But to be able to take what you've already learned, what you've already been doing. I mean, I spent 20 years in project management, and that planning aspect of what I do, that's what helps my client clients too, right? Yeah. I don't just leave that in the past. So I want to encourage those who are watching and trying to figure out, how do I even get this started? If that's where you are, or how do I take what I'm doing and add this new stream of income? Maybe you've been doing network marketing and you're like, I have been coaching people for a really long time and didn't realize it. Maybe even, how do I move that into its own stream of income by coaching people, no matter what company they're in, not just your company, things like that. Anyway, a little off topic, but not off topic. We're talking about multiple streams of income. But I think it's being able to see what you bring to the table already. Because a lot of us don't recognize that initially.
That is true. And I think multiple streams of income is becoming more common, more understood, more accepted. But I will tell you, when as a part of that network marketing company, when I wanted to start my coaching business, there were a lot of people in that company that did not support me, that did not cheer me on, that did not understand. And that was like, oh, okay, people really don't get that you can do more than one thing. And really, the human brain, we like labels. We like boxes. We like to say, oh, she works in real estate, or, oh, he's a banker, or she's a business coach, or it's like when you start to do lots of things, it can get confusing for some people to understand what's happening. But highly recommend multiple streams of income. I mean, there's not a job in corporate America that's 100% secure, just like there's not a small business that is 100% secure. Nothing is.
Exactly.
So that's what I like about not having just one thing going on. It keeps me fueled. It keeps me passionate. It keeps my creativity going. And a lot of people ask me, well, how do you do all of that? Because I am a wife, I am a mom of two. And I still work in corporate America. And I have, I think, what was it? You and I counted 5 streams of income before we started the interview. Yeah. So 2 network marketing companies now that I still have. I don't promote them really. I mean, I'm not out front in the public. What I am growing and what I'm focusing on is my business coaching practice. But I still have it's what's considered a full-time job in corporate. I'm fortunate that I get to sort of set my own schedule, bring in my own production, and work from home primarily. So that's a blessing. But by starting that first network marketing company, the income that I gained from that allowed me to leave what was a very high stress, sometimes 12-hour days, over 6 figures a year corporate job. So the money was great.
Right.
But I don't know about the listeners out there, but that money's not everything. And I did learn that. I'm like, okay, I'm making over 6 figures a year. I'm not seeing my family. I'm super stressed out. And I'm asking myself every day, why the heck am I doing this?
Yeah.
So by starting that network marketing company and getting that extra stream of income, what it allowed me to do then was to stay in a full-time job, but at half the income.
Yeah.
And our household budget was not affected, but my stress level was very much lowered. I was a lot happier. So a lot of people think that if you start a network marketing company or you start a business, that it's like we were talking about, it's an either or thing.
Right.
And it's not. You
Yeah.
can have a corporate job and multiple businesses if you want to, and be very successful at all of them. You just have to figure out which one you're focusing on at any given time, balance it, and, map out your time management in a good way.
And I think the thing is being strategic, as you were mentioning that, the corporate world, while it feels more secure, it's not. I mean,
No.
in my previous corporate position, I watched multiple, corporate wide layoffs happen. And you're sitting there as you realize it's happening, and you're sitting at your desk like, I know the first time it happened, I'm like, not me, not me. I hope they don't call my name. Right? I hope nobody comes to my desk. Right.
Yeah.
The second time I'm like, come on. Yeah. Give me that severance. Give me a reason to go and start my business. Like that's where I was mentally. Right. Because I had already started working towards my business. I've been in network marketing too for years and years and years, like from the age that a legal age, when I turned 18 was the first time I signed up with a network marketing company. But yeah, it was a very different shift from the first time I went through that round of layoffs to the second time a few years later. It was like, oh, they're going to give me severance and then I can go start my business and I'm still going to get paid while I do it. Yeah, bring it on,
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Just give me a reason to. Come on, give me a reason to start my business full time. Come on.
Right. No, you're right, Stephanie. So the first time I realized, okay, well, let me rewind. I'm of the age that growing up, you went to high school, you went to college, you got the W-2 job, you stayed there for 40 years. You didn't gripe about it. You were thankful to have it, even if you hated it. And then you got the gold watch and the pension with your retirement. Okay. So somewhere around 2003, 2004 is when companies started to talk about downsizing, restructuring. And I was working for State Farm Insurance at the time. I had been there for 12 years, ever since I graduated from college. I wasn't planning on going anywhere. I wanted to grow with the company. And I got downsized. I got restructured. And I wanted to say to my parents, y'all never told me this could happen. I mean, what do you mean I don't have a job? This is not the way this was supposed to go. Yeah. And so that was my first taste of somebody else being in control of my money and the future not being stable. And I thought, okay, it's kind of strange. And so then I took the severance package, and that's when my best friend and I were selling purses. That was really funny. And then started the network marketing company, went through the divorce, and then let go of that, went back into corporate. The second time it happened to me was when I grew market share for that company 86% the first year I was there. And then the second year was on track. We were on track to grow, I think, another 38%. And the CEO of that company actually had the nerve to tell me and the other people that were in business development, the sales role, that we were making too much money. Oh, and wow. I was like, wait a minute. If I'm making money, that means you're making money. And I just gained you market share, like gangbusters. Anyway, so I was like, you've got to be kidding me. And he started messing around with our compensation plan and rewriting it in ways that would benefit the company. And I'm like, here I am again. Yeah. Here I am again with somebody else being in charge of my future and my money. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing it. So, people think that there's stability in business ownership, there's stability in real estate, there's stability in corporate America. Maybe not.
And I think that's the key to having multiple streams is is that, and that's I guess not the key, but the reason behind it is so that when something goes awry in one of them, you have something to fall back on and you're not scrambling in the moment. You've strategically decided, I'm going to create this stream of income, which may be a job. And then I'm going to create this stream of income, which might be a network marketing business. And then I'm going to do this one over here, where I'm going to do some affiliate sales. I'm going to do something a little different over here, or I'm going to go, become an Amazon, FBA thing, you can go sell stuff on Amazon, or set up my own Shopify store or something that gives something else, right? And I think just in this world, I mean, the side gig economy is like prevalent because people have realized that nothing is as stable as we think it is.
Right. Yeah, agree 100%.
I'm going to take a moment and turn my light on now because the sun has gone down enough that I feel like I'm sitting in a hole. Hold on. It may not add tons, but at least I'll see better. Okay, there we go. It's like getting really dark in my office. Still nice and sunny outside. The sun is now on the other side of my house. Is why. All right, so my next question for you, because we talked about the 5 streams that you have, and that's a lot of attention going different ways, because then there's also family and life and everything, right? So what does a typical week look like for you? How do you balance it all? And do you do it all yourself?
Great questions. So the balancing of it has been a work in progress, and I over time have figured out what works for me. So I would say to somebody who's in a corporate 9-to-5, sitting in a cubicle, not being able to work from home, that's how I started, was actually in the office 9-to-5, but building the network marketing company. And so in that situation, the key is to figure out your office hours for the network marketing company or the side gig, setting them and sticking to them. That is what made me successful. So I would say, okay, I know I'm going to spend 2 hours on Monday night, 2 hours on Wednesday night, 2 hours on Saturday morning, or an hour in each of those. But then I know, and my family knows, Tuesday night, I'm not going to work on anything. I'm available. Or Friday night is, maybe we had a high school football game or whatever.
Right.
Sunday, family day. So it can be done, but you have to have a plan. If you go into every day, and this is what one of the things I help my clients with, if you go into every day flying by the seat of your pants, nothing is going to get done. You have to be very intentional about your time. So now I do have the ability to work at home all the time, which is great. So I am blessed that way. A typical week for me is, so the job that I have, it's in real estate. And if I have a transaction that's closing, that is something that I manage, project manage, and then actually don't have to show up to do the closing until everything's ready to go. So I do have a team that helps me in the office with manage it, but I am managing the process all the way through. And so what that looks like is, a typical day for me is up around 6 a.m. I do some admin stuff on all the businesses, just kind of check-ins, and then exercise, walk the dog. I don't start client appointments before 10:30 because that gives me time to get a whole bunch of things done before people start needing me. Break for lunch, and then whatever I need to do for the businesses. So like if I have a real estate closing, I know that by the time I get it fixed or get everything ready, get myself ready, get to the office, drive in, drive out, get back home, I have to block off time for that. So what I like to do is, in the typical day, and then I try to wrap up my last client call or last appointment 3:30 or 4, so that I can sort of wrap the day, look and see what's going on tomorrow, and then really try to be very available for my family. But there are still nights when, if my son, who's a high school senior, is working on homework, or like tonight, he's going to be at work and my husband wants to read his book. And I'm like, okay, I would love to knock out some things for this next course I'm creating.
Yeah.
And people would say, well, why do you work all the time? And I'm like, well, because I kind of love it. I mean,
Right.
I enjoy it. Like my husband loves to read books, and I love to read books too. But right now my priority is building this business.
Right.
So what I do is I'm very organized and managed with my time and my planning. So every week on Wednesday, I look at the whole following next week. And I literally have a piece of paper for every day from like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. lined out. And I'm writing in all the known appointments, the real estate stuff, doctor appointment, chiropractor, whatever, hair, and then I can see, okay, when do I have my client calls? And I work those in. And then I can see, okay, when are my available pockets of content creation time, or, adding something to the website, or, interacting in my Facebook group. And that's pretty much how I maintain it. I know in the morning, there are certain things I do every morning on the businesses. When it's quiet, I'm checking Facebook, I'm checking the Facebook groups, I'm checking Instagram, I'm doing all of that stuff. Looking in my CRM to see which clients I need to follow up with. And then it's a mix of client calls and all those other things. And on any given day, like today, I didn't have anything that I needed to do for the real estate job. So today was all about doing course validation calls for the new course that I'm creating. Now, what I'm doing, what I try to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is structure those days for my private one-on-one clients. And I try not to schedule any one-on-one clients Mondays or Fridays, so that I know Monday and Friday are not necessarily open free play days, but I don't have any appointments, so I can focus on other things that I need to be doing. But I'm very intentional about the time that I set. And I also, on Saturday mornings, I will get up and I will work. Because nobody really needs me on a Saturday. My son's not going to get out of bed before noon. And my husband likes to go exercise and go to the grocery store and, get groceries or whatever and run errands. And then, but he and I both know Saturday afternoon, evening, that's our time. Sunday morning, the same thing. I will get up and work a few hours, but Sunday afternoon and evening, so I'm very protective of my evenings and my weekends. But that means that I have to put in the work on other days. And you asked if I have help. I did not for a long time. It was just me until just a few months ago. And what happened was I was starting to launch my courses and my programs, and I just felt like there's so much to do. I'm going to be doing this 20 hours a day. My husband's never going to see me. He's not going to be happy. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay. So I decided to invest in an admin, and little by little figured out what are the things that she can take off my plate and do really easily. And I don't pay her a fortune. I pay her well. She's excited to have it, and thankful. And we're having a blast together. And she does so many things for me that just really free up my time, like little things like making graphics, making a quote graphic. She schedules my Facebook lives. She creates my Instagram and LinkedIn content. I look at it, edit it, tweak it, and then she takes care of posting it for me. So that's really great. She helps me curate content for my Facebook group. So like if I see a really great article I want to share with my group, I send it to her. She puts it in our shared folder, or she'll see something and she'll put it in there. So it's been really great. But for a long time in these businesses, it was just me.
Yeah. And one of the things, tell me a little bit about how you managed from the mindset standpoint. I know with clients that I work with who they're just getting started. They're still and this is a maybe, they might still be in the corporate world, they might not, but they have something else that takes up a lot of their time. So there might be a mom of young kids or something. There's a lot of time that they can't work, right? They can't do things because they're taking care of something else, but it also could be a corporate job. How do you get over the belief that this is going to happen just as quick as if I have 8 hours a day to work on it, Monday through Friday, and this is the only thing that I'm doing? Because that, I think, discourages so many people. They think that they should be just as successful as the person who has spent 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, maybe some weekends and lots of long evenings, like pushing to get their stuff done and get their business up and running in the way they want it to. Mm-hmm. How did you balance that for yourself? Like, you found the schedule that works for you. How did you balance it mentally when it's like, I want this to be doing this now, right? We all have those moments. That's why I say, like, I've been
there. I still do. Yeah, no, that's a great question. And I was not very good at that in the beginning. Because the first business that I had, not the first business, but the business I built that I still have, one of the network marketing companies, mm-hmm. was when I was doing the 9 to 5, and had very little time to work on it. And what was frustrating was that comparisonitis. Yeah. I teach my clients, comparison is the thief of joy. You've mm-hmm. heard that a million times. It's the truth. But what was happening to me was I was looking at other people in the company that were also working full-time jobs, and they were hitting 6 figures and earning the cars and all that stuff. And I was like, what is, this, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this mm-hmm. isn't going to work. Am I doing the right things? And what I had to remind myself of was that, why was I doing it? Did it bring me joy? And being okay with where I was and knowing that I was still going to get there. I just might get there a little slower than everybody else. But I also now understand better, having built several businesses and helping people build theirs, that fast growth is not always the growth you want. Mm-hmm. You want solid, quality growth that will be sustained over time. So yes, some of those people were earning 6 figures in cars, but what I started to realize was the way they grew was not organic. Mm-hmm. They were, you have to ask yourself, what is that person doing to get there? Because some people are having great success and they're doing everything correctly. Other people are doing some things that you probably don't want to be doing. Yeah. Yeah. So I do struggle with that a little bit now too, because as you know, there's so many coaches out there that'll say, oh, well, I had a $100,000 launch, or I had a $20,000 launch. And my question is always, well, how much did you earn from that? Exactly. Yeah. Because, okay, yeah, you made $20,000 in your launch, but what were your expenses? Mm-hmm. And reminding myself that I'm probably making just as much money as they are at the end of the day. Right. If you look at our profit and loss, yeah, I'm running very lean with very few expenses. So that's what I tell myself is all I can see if I'm looking at other people is the surface. I don't know what they've got going on. I don't know what their expenses are. I don't know what their true income is. I just know what it looks like. And remind myself that I'm building my own business and using my gifts and talents given to me by God in a way that is pleasing to Him, and it will grow in the manner and the way that He wants it to. Yeah. And the how is really hard to not know the how, and to remind myself that I'm not supposed to know the how, and I'm not in charge of the how. That's really hard too, not being in charge. Right. But I just have to keep reminding myself, I'm in this for the long haul. This is what I want to do. I am blessing other people. I am helping people, and it will grow at the rate it is supposed to. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but it's hard not to compare yourself to other people. It really is. And I know it's helpful. You brought up a lesson of seeing the numbers that people speak about
but they don't share all of the detail behind it, right?
Yeah.
And I know when I first learned that lesson, many years ago, I don't know. I don't remember when. I don't remember when, somewhere in the last 10 years, I'm gonna put it that way. I was involved with some political campaigns and political fundraising. And I remember I had helped one of our political parties raise the most that they had in I don't know how many years through this one event that we held.
Yeah.
And like, people that had been around, like looking at them, they'd been around forever. And hearing them say, we've never raised that much in one event, right? And so then wanting to do a press release for it and working with PR in how do I do a press release for this, and then doing some research about it. And it's like, well, you can do it two ways. You can report how much you raised as a whole, or what you actually have. Right. Yeah. And so if we raised $20,000 in this event, but our expenses were $10,000, then we raised $10,000. That's what we did in the end. Right.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, looking at it that way, and that is what you don't see a lot in those posts that are so fabulous about these huge launches, is that they spent $20,000 on Facebook ads or something like that, you've got to remember that. And so this is a great transition, because I know what I want to talk to you about today is, how do you do all of this without the Facebook ads, without having to put out all of that expense? That you have business expenses, but without having to put out all the ad expense, especially when you're a newer business and you don't have tons of revenue coming in. It's not wise to put that much money into the paid advertising and paid, those paid mechanisms, right? Organic is what you want, because that's going to prove that you've got something people really, really want as well. Yeah. So you had mentioned that about that organic growth versus some of the other ways.
Yeah. So organic is how I've built all of my businesses. That the time in the summer when I ran the ads, that was just not good. I don't know that I'll try that again.
Yeah.
Still hurting from that experience. But the first thing to do is a
great learning experience though, right?
Yeah, but I might as well just lit the money on fire, really.
Yeah.
That's not good. So the first thing to do when we're talking about organic growth is, my question is always, what business are we talking about? Are we talking about a brick and mortar with who's limited in geographic area to local? That business is going to use different organic marketing methods than someone like you and I, who we can be virtual and global. So let's just look at the brick and mortar for a second. There's lots of different ways and methods to use for organic growth, growing and gaining new clients without paid ads. And for years ago, before social media became such a big thing, it was things like networking, in person, chamber events, community events, volunteering, getting your face seen, your name seen, meeting people and connecting and getting your message out there about what you're doing and who you are. And then, now in the past couple of years, that's changed, obviously, because of the pandemic. We're not meeting in person as much, but they are virtually. So there's lots of networking that's available on a virtual level, if that's what interests you. But we would look at something like that. You can, if you're talking about somebody like us who's virtual and global, being a guest on a podcast is a great way to gain visibility for your business. You're opening yourself up to a whole new audience that you never would meet otherwise. Having your own Facebook group is a great way to gain visibility, if that's a good fit for your business. If that's not a good fit for your business, then you can look at other Facebook groups and being a member of those. and not being spammy or weird or trying to sell people something the first time you meet them, but being in the group and adding value. And most of the time in a group, there's going to be an opportunity one day of the week where they let people promote themselves. And you want to take advantage of that and be a part of that. And you also want to support the other people in there. So there's a great Facebook group for women here locally that are women in the community. And they have a promo Wednesday every week. And one of the things I tell my clients to do is be on promo Wednesday. It may feel like nobody is seeing what you're posting, but they are. And go in and like everybody else's post, let them see your name, let them see that you're supporting them.
Right.
People are going to get curious about you and they're going to click on your name, which brings me to a very basic thing that everybody needs to do. Not right now, because I want you to finish listening to the training, but when you get finished, I want you to go look at your Facebook personal profile. And I want you to click on your about section. And if it says no workplaces to show and you're a business owner, that's a problem. Because that's the first place I'm going to look. If someone is interacting with me and I want to know more about that person, we all do this. We click on their name and I go back and I look and I'm like, and it's like this big disconnect just happens. I'm like, wait a minute. I know they have a business. She said she was a coach. It says no workplaces to show. I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she doesn't have a business. Or maybe she's not that proud of her business. You know what I mean? It just causes a disconnect. So we need to see that social proof. Social proof is a really great way to solidify who you are and get your credibility while you're getting visibility for your business. The same thing goes with your Facebook business page. You've got to max out that profile there. And then even things like your existing clients. One of the mistakes I see businesses making is they're so busy turning cartwheels out in the front of their business to get new clients to come in the door and sign up that they forget about their existing clients. And their existing clients are quietly going out the back door with their wallet over to their competition. So what we have to do is be very aware. And that's how I have successfully gained market share for other companies, is keeping my foot on the gas of the existing clients, making sure I'm connected to them. I stay connected to them. I stay top of mind with them while I'm bringing in new ones. Because what happens is if you love on your existing clients so much and they're so loyal to you, they cannot help but recommend you to other people. They just can't help it. And then what does that do? That gets you visibility and it gets you new clients coming in the door. So our existing clients can be one of the best sources of new clients without nearly as much work because they're already warmed up. And that word of mouth referral has way more credibility and credit with somebody that's new than if I'm trying to talk to that new person as a cold contact.
Yeah. Yeah. That actually happened. So this past Friday, I was meeting with one of my clients and she was thoroughly enjoying what we were going through. And she said, I just love the days I get to meet with you because I feel like I'm actually like accomplishing something more than just being involved in the day-to-day of making my business run. And after we worked through some stuff, she was like, can I go post on Facebook about this or something and tag you or something? I was like, please, of course you can.
You can do it today. You can do it tomorrow. Right? You can do it Friday. You could post every day.
She's like, I've already told my personal trainer that she needs you, but I'm like, can I go post? I was like, of course you can.
Please. Yeah. Yeah. And that post will have more weight than anything else that you could do on your own with a cold audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the ways that you interact? I want to dig a little bit more when you're in that Facebook group, because you talked about it a little bit, but when you're in that Facebook group or a LinkedIn group, because I know there are groups on LinkedIn as well, and depending on where your ideal client is where you want to be most prevalent.
Right.
What does that adding value mean within that group?
That's a great question. So I'll give you a really good example that happened today. I am in a Facebook group that is real estate agents. And since I know the real estate arena as having been a mortgage lender and worked in title insurance. And I have real estate clients now as a coach. There was a gal that posted about, she said, I have a buyer that wants to be in this specific neighborhood, but there are no houses for sale. I was thinking about writing a handwritten note to the people that own those houses and just saying something like, I have a buyer who really wants to live here. Anybody thinking about selling their home?
Right.
So somebody commented and said, what about door knocking? That might be a really great way to make some connections there. So my value add was, I commented and said, I love the door knocking idea. I also love the idea of a handwritten note. You could absolutely do both, because I didn't write this in there, but I mean, some people aren't home and some people are not going to answer the door.
Right.
I am not going to answer the door.
Yeah.
So you could absolutely do both. And you could just very simply say exactly what you just said. I have a buyer who loves this neighborhood and wants to be a part of it. Do you or someone you know, or have you ever considered selling, or do you know somebody that would like to? And I just say, keep it very simple and short. Absolutely include your business card. And I said, I girly squeal when I get something in the mail that's not a bill. So these people are going to be so thrilled. And, somebody else commented on my thing. Another realtor replied on mine and connected and said, hey, what do you think about this idea? And I was like, okay. And so it's kind of like I'm Tracy Beavers, the business coach, but I'm not.
Yeah.
They see my personal name, Tracy Beavers. So on the face of it, they don't know what I do, but I'm a friend.
Right.
I'm adding value. I'm supporting them. And I'm saying, I love that idea. Have you thought about this? Or here's what's worked for me in the past. If that group is a prime example, somebody will post something and I'll go, one of the agents posted and said, I have a buyer who wants to buy a condo. They want to use FHA financing. Well, that can be a nightmare depending on what state you live in. Here in Arkansas, in Little Rock, there's only a couple of condominium complexes that accept that type of financing. And there's different parameters behind that. And so a lot of people were commenting, and I just chimed in and said, all these comments are absolutely accurate. And I would add, you need to check the amount of owned versus rented in the complex, something like that.
Right.
So using my knowledge to support, I don't ever mention coaching. I don't ask them to be a client, but what's going to happen is the more they see my name, the more they're going to be like, who is this girl? She's so nice. She's so nice.
Yeah.
They're going to click on my name and they're going to go to my personal profile, which is why you need to have the about section filled out completely, because people are nosy. And so I need to use my Facebook cover photo as an advertisement for myself, my about section, and they'll see, oh, she's a coach. Oh, maybe I should hire her. Or not. I've had a few people come to me from that group that have said, hey, I'd really like to talk to you about coaching. And we figure out whether or not it's a good fit for what they're trying to do right now. But that's just a really great example of one way that I do it. And the key to being in a group is first of all, you got to read the rules of the group.
Right.
Because some want you to do certain things on certain days and you can get yourself kicked out. But you always just want to see what's going on in the group. And there's a very easy way to do that. You can work that into your schedule. That's one of the things that's worked into my schedule. One of the things I do in the morning is I check all my groups, see what are the comments? What can I add to? Who can I help? Who can I serve? And when you come from a place of service and adding value in education, that is going to get visibility for your name and ultimately for your business.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, you have a free gift for our viewers today.
I do.
The referral machine.
Yes. 5
easy ways to gain new clients every day with ease. Tell us what to expect from that.
So that is all about what I talked about with your existing clients. Essentially, you're building your own referral machine because you are looking at your existing client base, and there's 5 free or low cost ways in the guide for them to love on their existing clients so much that they become super loyal to them and they want to sing their praises to their friends, their family, to somebody that needs what they're doing. And it becomes a machine of referrals, warmed up referrals of people who come to you that would have been a cold contact. Now they're a warmed up contact and they practically have their wallet out because their friend told them, hey, she's the best in the business, or hey, that's the flower shop to go to. They never do me wrong. They always give me extra. They send me thank you notes. They check in on me. You need to go to that massage therapist because she will literally text me and say, hey, how are you feeling? She checks in on me. She sends me thank you notes. She sends me a birthday card. My chiropractic office does a beautiful job of this. Like, you get a birthday card. If you referred somebody in, they get you a little Starbucks card. I mean, they're always asking, how are you doing? How's your day going? All that.
Yeah.
So of course, when somebody says, I need a chiropractor, I'm going to be like,
Right.
you gotta go see mine.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what that's about. It's ways for them that they could start doing today. Literally, they could grab the guide, start implementing these strategies immediately and loving on those existing clients, and you can develop your own referral program. If you don't have a referral program, it's very easy to do. You don't want to do anything that's going to break your budget. But like my massage therapist client I have, she's developed a great referral program where, because people would ask her, do you do packages? Well, she didn't really want to do packages. When they ask for packages, they're basically asking, how can I save money on your service?
Right.
Okay, great way you can save money on my service is by referring your friends and family, and I'll give you $10 off every time you do. So I mean, I'll give you $10 off and I'll give your friend $10 off. So it's not like, because what feels weird in a referral program is if the person that did the referring is the only one benefiting from it.
Right.
Because that causes the other person to go, did she just refer me because she wanted the discount, or did she refer me because she really thinks this person's great?
Yeah.
But if both people get the discount, that's a beautiful thing.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Tracy, for sharing
You're
with
welcome.
us, telling us your story and helping us to see how to balance all the different aspects while you're still working a full-time career and kids and a husband and
a dog.
Yeah, and a dog, and just how you can grow it on your own terms, really, on your terms. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.